Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to install an IKEA VINDKAST. For this project you'll need a ladder, a screwdriver, a wire stripper, and a utility knife. Now the first thing I'm going to do is to uninstall my current light fixture, which is this flush mount light fixture. To do that, my first step is going to be to cut the power. Now I can see that when I turn the light on and off, it doesn't do anything. So it is safe to begin work. This type of fixture has 3 clips on the top. Usually one of them will pull out so that you can remove it. That would be this one. Now the cap is off, so you can see there are a couple of screws which hold it into the ceiling. That was pretty simple. There were just 2 screws holding it in place, and now we see that there are 2 wires coming out of the fixture that are connected through these wire nuts to the wires in the box. So we're just going to unscrew these 2, and then this is going to come off. So these first few steps are super easy. You just, step 1 is to put the wire through this cup. And step 2 is to attach this thing, which it snaps on, I guess. It was already on. And step 3 is to thread this thing through here. So we're going to line this up with the screw on the bottom and the trapdoor opening like this. And this wire comes into the bottom and out the top. And step 5 appears to be getting the wire to go inside of this little screw, like this. Now we screw the small side of the plate into the electrical box, making sure that you choose a hole such that the other hole will also line up with one of the holes on the box. Now this isn't in the instructions, but I actually tried to install this and realized the wires are way too close together, so it's hard to connect them to the wires in the ceiling box. So I'm going to use my utility knife to strip off the outer layers of braiding and insulation. You have to be careful here so that you don't cut into the inner insulation of the individual wires. I'm also going to strip the wire ends to make them just a little bit longer so they're easier to connect with the wire nuts. The stripped ends should be long enough to wrap around the wires from the switch box, but not so long that the bare wire protrudes from the wire nut. For the ground wire, the green and yellow one, there's a little screw labeled ground with a copper wire screwed around it, so I unscrewed it, added the ground wire from the plate, and screwed it back in. Now that the wires are connected, I'm going to give them a tug to make sure they aren't going to come apart. Also, we need to push them up into the box so that they don't get smushed when we try to close it. Then we need to screw in the other side of the plate. This is also a good time to turn the power back on and make sure it's working. Now we're on step 11 in the instructions. We're going to push the dome up and screw the nut at the bottom into the plastic screw thing. This is also a good time to figure out how long you want your pendant to be. I use the zip tie to coil up the extra length inside the dome. You can also cut it shorter if it doesn't fit. Note that the extra cord needs to be coiled up above the screw. This part you just crimp the wire with these 2 little brackets here. Make sure that the bulb isn't touching the bottom. Zip it back up and you're done.